Welcome to Threads of Truth, the podcast where real-life mysteries meet internet speculation. Today, we step inside a seemingly perfect suburban home and ask what kind of person watches from the shadows. Imagine this for a second. You've done it. You finally bought your absolute dream home. Not just, any house, but the house.
The one you've pictured.
Exactly. It's in this quiet, idyllic suburban town. Think like tree-lined streets, neighbors waving.
Picket fences, maybe? That whole vibe.
That whole vibe. Life just seems peaceful, predictable. You're there, you're unpacking boxes. Maybe the kids are already picking out their room.
Yeah, running around excited.
And you're just picturing years of happiness, right? Backyard barbecue, settling in, feeling like you belong. It's the American dream, pretty much.
Absolutely. The goal for so many people.
But then, just days after you get the keys, an anonymous letter shows up.
Oh.
And it's not a welcome basket coupon. No. This letter is from someone calling themselves the Watcher.
Chilling name right off the bat.
Right. And they say they've been observing your new house for decades. It's their family's job, almost, to watch this place.
Decades. Wow.
And it gets worse. Way worse. The letter talks about your children. Asks if they're young blood for the house.
That's horrific. Young blood.
Yeah, and it flat out implies they're being watched right there in your new safe place.
So your sanctuary is suddenly not safe at all.
Exactly. What do? Your dream home just flips instantly into this living nightmare. And it's not ghosts, it's someone real, unseen, watching.
Yeah, look, this isn't just some spooky campfire story or, a plot from a movie.
No.
This is the terrifying and very much unsolved reality that forced the Broaddus family, Derek and Maria Broaddus, to just abandon their dream home. 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey.
Westfield. Sounds nice normally.
It's supposed to be, and that's part of it, this case. It's just endured. It captivated people globally, led to so many theories online and off. And it leaves us even now asking these big questions about safety, privacy, what might be lurking just out of sight.
So our mission today, then, is to really dig into this.
Yeah, let's do a deep dive. Look at the facts, what actually happened, explore those internet theories, because there are a lot of them.
Oh, I bet.
And try to understand why this specific story hits such a nerve, why it taps into these modern fears we all kind of have.
Okay, let's get into it. Unpack this story right from the start. So June 2014.
Right.
Derek and Maria Broaddus.
Right.
Married couple, 3 young kids. They're living that dream we just talked about. They buy this gorgeous house, 657 Boulevard, Westfield, New Jersey. Big place, 6 bedrooms.
Picturesque, definitely. And it wasn't cheap. They paid $1.35 million.
Wow.
So a really significant investment. For them, this was it. This was the forever home.
The culmination.
Exactly. Years of work, saving. This was the goal. And Westfield itself, it really embodies that ideal, doesn't it?
It sounds like it.
Tree-lined streets, historic homes, great schools, supposedly a tight-knit community. It just projects safety, serenity.
The perfect suburban picture.
Totally. A place where, you think nothing really bad happens. And that perceived calm, that's exactly what makes what happened next so jarring, so disturbing. It just rips that perfect picture apart.
That contrast is key, isn't it? The perfect surface and then this dread creeping in underneath.
Absolutely.
Because just 3 days after they close on the house, 3 days, June 2014, they haven't even properly moved in yet.
Barely got the boxes through the door.
And the first letter arrives. And it sets the tone immediately. This isn't okay.
Not at all. And the way it was addressed, just the new owner.
Impersonal but targeted.
Exactly. Right away, it feels off. It's typewritten, and the message. Oh, it lays out this really creepy idea. The writer says their family has been watching 657 Boulevard for decades.
Decades.
And that now it's my time. Like their turn to watch.
Inherited obsession almost.
It feels like that. And it's not just watching. There are these really disturbing questions in that first letter. Like, have they found what's in the walls yet?
Oh, come on. What does that even mean?
Right. It immediately plants this seed of doubt, this fear of hidden secrets within the house itself. And then the worst part, the reference to the kids, calling them young blood for the house.
That's just vile.
asking if the Broadduces had brought me young blood.
Sir.
I mean, this isn't about a property dispute. This is a direct, terrifying threat aimed right at their children.
Their most vulnerable point.
Absolutely. It signals right away this isn't just annoying, it's sinister, deeply personal.
Yeah.
And deeply threatening.
And what really takes this from just, I don't know, a creepy crank letter to a full-blown nightmare is how quickly it escalated. And how specific these letters got. They weren't just vague threats anymore, were they?
No, not at all. The level of detail was invasive, disturbing. The watcher apparently knew the Broaddus children by name.
By name.
And their birth order. Knew the make and model of the family cars sitting in the driveway.
Ow. They must have been close.
It implies very close observation. They even criticized the renovations the family had started.
Criticized the renovations? Like how?
Saying the changes were making the house unhappy. Or altering it in ways the watcher didn't like.
Wow. Possessive.
Very. This wasn't random. This was someone watching, actively, constantly. And maybe the most chilling detail, the one that really proves active surveillance, was a specific reference to one of the kids drawing in the enclosed porch.
Okay, stop. How would anyone know that unless...
Unless they were watching. From nearby, maybe a neighbor's window, somewhere with a clear line of sight. It implies this constant pervasive gaze.
That's terrifying.
These letters, I mean, they were clearly designed to instill fear, psychological torment, to break down their sense of security in their own home. It wasn't just about the house. It was about getting inside their head.
Making them feel totally exposed.
I know.
Vulnerable.
Exactly. Penetrating their minds, their peace.
So, okay. Faced with that, you'd go to the police immediately.
And they did. The Broadduces didn't hesitate. They reported these letters straight away.
And this wasn't just like a local cop taking a quick report.
No, it escalated. The Westfield Police Department got involved, then the Union County Prosecutor's Office. And because of the psychological nature of it, the FBI even had a profiler consult at one point.
Wow. FBI. So they were taking it very seriously.
Extremely seriously. And naturally, the first place you look is close by.
The neighbors.
Right. Suspicion fell on those nearest the property.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Who else would know that level of detail?
Precisely. And an early prime suspect emerged. A neighbor named Michael Langford.
Langford, okay. Why him specifically?
Well, his family had lived next door to 657 Boulevard since the 1960s.
So that fits the watching for decades claim.
It aligns perfectly, doesn't it? Plus, he was described by some as, well, eccentric.
Which always makes people suspicious in these cases, fair or not.
It does. So he was brought in, questioned, interviewed, but, and this is crucial, no charges were ever filed against him.
So suspicion wasn't enough. No proof.
Exactly. It shows how hard it is to pin something like this down, especially when it's based on letters, on psychological stuff, not physical acts, even if someone fits a profile.
But there was physical evidence, wasn't there? The DNA.
Ah, yes. That was a big potential break. DNA was found on one of the envelopes, specifically saliva from licking the flap shut.
Okay. So whose was it?
Well, the analysis indicated it belonged to a woman.
A woman. Interesting. So not Langford then,
Unless he had help or someone else licked it. But yes, female DNA. This led to a huge effort by investigators.
What did they do?
They canvassed the neighborhood on a large scale, asking residents to provide voluntary DNA samples.
Wow, mass DNA testing. They were really going for it.
Trying to get that match, trying to unmask the watcher using forensics. It was a significant effort.
Did it work? Did they find her?
No. Despite all that work, despite many residents cooperating, no match was ever found.
Oh, man. So frustrated. Dead end.
A complete dead end. That crucial piece of physical evidence just dangled there, inconclusive. It really highlights the limits. You know, DNA isn't always the magic bullet. It might be partial, degraded, not in any database.
Or the person just didn't volunteer a sample.
Or that. And other tools, like traditional surveillance, they also proved ineffective. Whoever was doing this was either incredibly careful or incredibly lucky. They managed to just evade detection despite the seriousness of it all, despite the resources thrown at it.
It really shows how an anonymous threat someone determined can just slip through the cracks, even today.
It's deeply unsettling, isn't it?
So the aftermath for the Broaddus family, I mean, it's just devastating to think about.
Heartbreaking is the word. They were terrified, understandably, worried sick about their kids, tormented by this feeling of being watched.
They never moved in, did they?
Never. Not for a single night. Let that sink in. They buy their absolute dream home, pour everything into it.
All their hopes, their money.
And they can't even live there. The psychological burden was just too much. Their dream became the source of constant fear.
Unimaginable. And it didn't stop there, right? There were legal battles, too.
Oh, yeah. It got complicated. They sued the previous owners, the Woods family.
Why? What was the claim?
The Broduces alleged the Woods knew something. Specifically, that the Woods had also received one letter, a similar letter from the Watcher, just before they moved out.
One letter. Before they sold.
Yes. And the Broduces argued this was crucial information. If they'd known, they never would have bought the house. They claimed it should have been disclosed.
Makes sense. Did they win?
No. After a lot of legal wrangling, the lawsuit was dismissed.
Why?
The court basically found the Woods weren't legally obligated to disclose a single letter, especially if it wasn't overtly threatening in the same way, and that the Broduces hadn't proven fraud.
So, another blow for them. More costs, more stress.
Exactly. Just added insult to injury. On top of the psychological torment, now they're dealing with legal fees and this feeling of injustice.
And the house itself. It must have become infamous. Hard to sell.
Incredibly difficult. The story got out, media picked it up, it spread online. It became known as the Watcher House.
Who would want to buy that?
Precisely. It was tainted, stigmatized, and their attempts to salvage the situation were blocked too. They actually asked the town planning board if they could tear the house down.
Tear it down?
Yeah, and subdivide the land, maybe recoup some of the massive investment that way.
What did the town say?
Denied. Planning board said no, citing zoning rules, neighborhood character, things like that.
So they were completely stuck. Can't live there, can't sell easily, can't redevelop. A total nightmare.
A genuine limbo. They were hemorrhaging money on a house they couldn't use.
What did they end up doing?
Eventually, they managed to rent it out to another family.
Rent it out. Were the renters warned? Did they get letters?
That's one of the really interesting, maybe perplexing parts of the story. The family who rented it, they never reported receiving any letters from the Watcher.
Never. Huh. So
Yeah.
did the Watcher just stop? Or move on?
Or maybe their focus was only ever on the Broduces. It's a key point people debate online when discussing theories. Why did the letters seemingly stop for the renters?
Adds another layer of mystery.
It does. And finally, after years of this ordeal, years of stress, they did manage to sell the house in 2019.
Finally. Did they recoup their money?
No, not even
Yeah.
close. They sold it at a significant loss, over $400,000 less than they paid for it.
Ouch. That's brutal. A huge financial hit on top of everything else.
A clear sign of how much the Watcher's actions damaged the property's value and their lives. And to this day, the identity of the Watcher, still officially unknown.
Still a mystery.
An active, unsolved case, and maybe the weirdest part, the letters apparently stopped completely once the house was sold to the new owners.
So strange. As if the connection was broken once the Broduces were gone for good.
Or maybe the Watcher achieved their goal, whatever that was. It just adds another twist to this already baffling story.
Okay, so the facts are laid out. An unsolved, deeply disturbing mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned the internet. This seems like exactly the kind of case that online sleuths would just latch onto.
Oh, absolutely. If there is a vacuum of information, an unsolved puzzle, the internet rushes in to fill it. You've got Reddit communities, web sleuths, forums, true crime blogs.
Armchair detectives everywhere.
Exactly. All digging through the details, looking for clues the police might have missed, connecting dots, and spinning theories, lots of theories.
What's the most popular one? Where do most people lean?
Probably the most common and arguably the one that feels most intuitive is the neighbor theory.
Back to the neighbors. Makes sense given the details.
Right. It sort of follows Occam's razor, you know?
Yeah.
The simplest explanation, the core idea is just that. The Watcher was someone living right there, very close by.
Because how else do they know so much?
Exactly. The kids' names, the birth order, the cars, the renovations, that kid drawing on the porch. It all screams proximity, constant observation.
Someone with eyes on the house all the time.
Mm-hmm. And online, people really dig into this. They speculate maybe it was older resident, someone who'd been there for years, felt this weird sense of ownership over the neighborhood's history, or maybe resented newcomers.
Which brings us back to Michael Langford, the initial suspect.
He fits that profile perfectly, doesn't he? Long-term resident next door, described as eccentric, He's the obvious candidate for many online theorists.
But the female's DNA complicates that.
Right. It does complicate him being the sole actor, but it doesn't rule him out entirely. Maybe he had help. Maybe a female relative licked the envelope for him, not knowing what was inside. We just don't know.
Or it could have been another neighbor entirely.
Absolutely. Theories float around about other neighbors, too. Maybe someone jealous of the Broadduce's purchase, someone with an old grudge, or just someone with that deep, unhealthy psychological attachment to the house itself, its legacy.
It's hard to imagine getting that level of detail without being physically very close.
Extremely difficult. That localized knowledge is key to this theory's popularity.
Okay, so beyond neighbors, what other theories bubble up online?
Well, there's the disgruntled real estate rival theory. This one shifts the motive away from obsession towards something more transactional.
Like someone lost out on buying the house?
Exactly. Someone who really wanted 657 Boulevard put in a bid, but the Broadduces beat them to it. So this theory suggests they decided to sabotage the sale.
Out of spite. Or to get it cheaper later.
Both are suggested. The letters sometimes mention the family's wealth or imply they were greedy. Some theorists see that as bitterness from a rival buyer. The goal, scare the Broadduces away, maybe crash the property value, and then swoop in and buy it themselves for less.
Wow. That's cold and calculated.
It paints a pretty dark picture of real estate competition using psychological terror as a business tactic.
Okay, now, I've heard whispers of this next one, and it always feels uncomfortable, but it comes up a lot in true crime circles.
Yeah.
The idea that maybe the victims did it themselves.
Yes. The Broaddus family did it themselves theory. It's surprisingly common online, and yeah, it's cynical. It's a tough accusation.
Why would people even suggest that? What's the supposed motive?
Well, proponents speculate wildly. Maybe they had instant buyer's remorse after spending so much. Maybe they thought a chance to make more money by getting permission to demolish and subdivide, and the letters were a way to pressure the town or create a narrative.
That seems like a huge leap, given what they went through.
It is. It often comes from a place of skepticism, maybe a desire for a neat, self-contained explanation, even if it paints the victims in a terrible light.
Is there any evidence people point to for this theory?
Usually two main things. First, the fact that the renters apparently didn't get letters. Skeptics say, see, the letters stopped when the Broadduces weren't directly involved anymore.
Okay. And the second thing?
The sheer specificity of the details in the letters. Some argue, cynically, that only the family themselves could know that much detail, like the child drawing, and that they fabricated it to make the threats seem more credible.
But the family denies this completely.
Vehemently. And you have to weigh that against the undeniable evidence of their suffering. The huge financial loss, the documented emotional distress, fleeing their dream home. It's incredibly hard to square that reality with the hoax they orchestrated themselves.
Yeah, the cost of them seems far too high for it to be fake.
Exactly. And regarding the renters, maybe the watcher did stop. Or maybe the renters did get something but chose not to go public. We don't know. But the internet explores every angle, even the uncomfortable ones.
Okay, what else? Any other major theories?
There's a fascinating one that pulls directly from the language in the letters themselves. The former watcher, or even family of watchers theory.
Based on the letters saying they've watched for decades.
Precisely. The letter states, I've been watching 657 Boulevard for decades, and even mentions the watcher's father watching before them.
So like a generational thing, a creepy family tradition.
That's the idea. A multi-generational obsession with this specific house, passed down. Maybe the current watcher is the child or grandchild of the original watcher, carrying on this bizarre duty.
That adds a real gothic horror element to it.
It really does. It paints this picture of a long-standing, almost ritualistic surveillance tied to the property itself.
And the Woods family, the previous owners, getting that single letter. That fits this theory, right?
It lends it a strange credibility, doesn't it? It suggests the watcher was maybe dormant or less intense until the Broadduces arrived. Their arrival might have triggered a reawakening of this obsession, a need to reassert control over their house now that new people were there.
Like disturbing an old pack or something.
Creepy.
Very creepy. And online, the analysis gets even deeper. People look at the writing style.
Yeah. What about it?
Well, Reddit linguists and others have analyzed the syntax, the phrasing, That use of young blood, for instance.
It sounds old-fashioned.
It does. Some of it points to an older writer, or maybe someone deliberately using older language to sound more menacing, more timelessly creepy.
A performance. Could be. People also dig into local records, property disputes in Westfield, old town gossip, trying to find any connection, any hidden conflict that might point to a motive or a suspect. The internet basically acts like this huge ongoing cold case squad.
Tirelessly sifting. It's fascinating. But let's pull back from the theories for a second. What makes this...
That's it. An unseen, persistent threat can be way more damaging psychologically than something you can see and fight. It made their own home feel like enemy territory.
And the setting. Westfield. That perfect suburb. That makes it even scarier, doesn't it?
Oh, completely. If this happened in a rundown area, maybe it wouldn't hit the same way. But Westfield, it shatters that illusion of suburban safety.
The idea that these places are immune.
Right. People move to towns like Westfield for that peace of mind, for security. The Watcher case just rips that facade away, reveals this potential darkness lurking beneath the surface, even in supposedly perfect communities.
It makes you look at your own neighborhood differently.
It does. It forces you to confront that maybe safety is more fragile than we think, that a threat could be right next door, unseen. It's a violation of that core suburban promise.
So we've gone through the facts, the theories. But the bottom line is, it's still unsolved.
Officially unsolved, no arrests, no definitive ID of the Watcher, which has to be incredibly frustrating, especially for law enforcement after all that effort.
And it highlights the limits of investigation, doesn't it? Even with DNA.
It really does. That female DNA, such a critical clue, yet it led nowhere. It shows that even with modern forensics, if the person isn't in a database, or if the sample is tricky, or if they just don't cooperate, you hit a wall.
Science isn't always the magic answer.
Not always. And traditional surveillance failed too. It raises big questions. How do we protect ourselves from these unseen threats when our usual tools don't work? It's a stark reminder that some mysteries resist easy solutions.
For me, the Watcher has become more than just a case file. It feels like a symbol of modern fears.
I think you're right. It taps into so many contemporary anxieties, feeling of being watched, privacy invasion.
Especially in our hyper-connected, surveillance-heavy world.
Exactly. In an age of Ring doorbells, social media tracking, data breaches, the idea of an old-school stalker sending physical letters feels both archaic and terrifyingly relevant. It hits that primal fear of the unknown observer.
Who's watching and why?
It perfectly encapsulates that modern unease that maybe true safety, true privacy is just an illusion, even in our own homes. The anonymity of the Watcher mirrors the anonymity often found online, which is maybe why the internet latched onto it so hard.
Speaking of which, that online obsession is huge. This case seems almost built for internet sleuths.
Without a doubt. It provided just enough detail to fuel speculation, but left enough unanswered questions to keep people hooked. Years of discussion on Reddit, forums, blogs.
Dissecting every word of the letters.
Absolutely. And that public fascination inevitably led to media adaptations. Most notably, the Netflix series in 2022.
Right. That brought it to a whole new audience.
A massive global audience. Now, it's important to say the show took major liberties. Highly dramatized, fictionalized characters and plots.
Not a documentary.
Definitely not. But it absolutely reignited interest in the real case.
Yeah.
People watched the show, then went searching for the true story, for the facts about the Broaddus family's actual ordeal.
So fiction drove interest in the reality.
Yeah, it's a common pattern. These adaptations act as gateways, bringing attention back to the original, often more chilling source material and its lingering questions.
But amidst all the theories, the online chatter, the Netflix drama, we have to remember the real people at the center of this.
That is the most critical point, I think. Beyond the mystery, beyond the entertainment value for us, there's an immense human cost.
The Broaddus family.
Yes, they lost their dream home. They lost a fortune, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But more than that, they suffered incredible emotional distress, psychological trauma that lasted for years.
The fear, the uncertainty.
For them, at some point, finding out who the Watcher was probably became less important than just escaping. Escaping the torment, finding peace, rebuilding their lives somewhere else, away from that gaze.
It's a powerful reminder. Behind the spooky story are real lives turned upside down.
Absolutely. Their experience underscores the real-world impact, the lasting damage that this kind of anonymous psychological threat can inflict. It's not just a puzzle to solve, it was their life.
So after digging into all of this, the facts, the chilling letters, the dead ends, the theories, we're left here still wondering, what are your theories listening to this? Do you lean towards a neighbor, a rival, that generational obsession idea, or something else entirely?
It really makes you think.
And maybe the bigger question, the one that really sticks with you. If you were in the Broaddus family's shoes, knowing everything we know now, would you have ever moved into 657 Boulevard? Or would you have just turned around and run as far away as possible?
It's a chilling thought experiment, isn't it? Your safe haven becoming the source of your deepest fears. It highlights just how fragile that sense of security can be and how devastating an unseen threat truly is.
Let us know what you think. Share your theories. And if you find these real mysteries and how the internet tries to unravel them as fascinating as we do, please follow and share Threads of Truth. Next time on Threads of Truth, we investigate one of the internet's strangest characters, a man arrested for insider trading who claimed he was from the year 2256. Was Andrew Carlson a fraud? Or a time traveler who got caught?